Have you noticed how, suddenly, everywhere you turn, people are whispering or outright declaring, the Iraqi dinar, it is time? Why is this phrase echoing across financial circles, across Telegram groups, across investment forums, and even across quiet kitchen tables where families are wondering if they are on the edge of something historic? Today, in this video, we are going to carefully unpack why so many voices, both small and powerful, are pointing toward Iraq's currency as being on the edge of transformation. We're going to explore the reasons, the evidence, and the growing belief that the Iraqi dinar may finally be stepping into its rightful place on the global stage. Stay with me until the very end, because I promise you will walk away with a clearer vision of why people are not just guessing anymore, why they are convinced Iraqi dinar, it is time. The Iraqi dinar have the most talked about currencies for decades. For years, people followed its ups and downs, its struggles and its limitations. But recently the conversation has shifted. This is no longer about waiting and uncertainty. The phrase, "it is time," has taken on a real meaning because Iraq is no longer the same nation it was during its years of conflict and instability. The country has stabilized its oil exports, entered into large-scale energy projects, and strengthened ties with global financial institutions. These moves are not just random political events. They are building blocks, laying down the foundation for a stronger currency. When you connect the dots, it becomes clear Iraq is working toward monetary reform that could revalue the dinar and integrate it with the global economy in ways we haven't seen before. That's why the phrase, "time," feels so loud now. When you hear that gold is holding near record highs and oil prices are climbing again, most people only think of global markets. But look deeper, and you realize that Iraq, sitting on one of the largest oil reserves on the planet, is positioned to benefit directly from these global price changes. Every barrel of oil strengthens Iraq's budget. Every rise in gold adds to the financial security of its reserves. And when the United States Federal Reserve makes decisions about interest rates, countries like Iraq watch closely because those decisions ripple across international banking. The timing of Iraq's reforms is not random. It is aligned with a global shift, a realignment of currencies, and a push toward digital banking. All these conditions are converging to create the perfect stage for Iraq. This is why investors and analysts are saying with confidence, it is time. Let's talk about the most recent headlines out of Iraq, because they explain the momentum. Reports confirm that Iraq has signed massive new energy and gas projects valued at over $27 billion. These deals are not small, they're the kind that signal long-term economic security. They bring in international companies, create jobs, and generate revenue streams that stabilize a country's financial outlook. Add to that the news of Iraq meeting with top global banking figures, including leadership connected to the Bank of England, and you see a nation plugging itself back into the financial system. Each meeting, each deal, each signature on a contract sends the same signal: Iraq is open, Iraq is secure, and Iraq is ready. When countries position themselves this way, currency strength follows. This is not theory, it is economic fact. Another important factor is Iraq's justice system and its stance against terrorism. Recently, Iraqi courts have issued strong sentences, including death penalties, for individuals linked to terror attacks. Why does this matter to currency reform? Because security is the foundation of financial trust. No investor, no global bank, and no international organization wants to deal with a nation that cannot control its internal threats. Iraq's firm response shows the world that it takes stability seriously. And when the world believes Iraq is stable, confidence in its financial institutions grows. With confidence comes investment. With investment comes growth. And with growth, the opportunity for a stronger dinar becomes more realistic than ever. This is part of why people are repeating, "it is time." Inside Baghdad and Erbil, we see another sign: the price of the US dollar fluctuating in local markets. This is not just about exchange rates, it is about the parallel market slowly losing its grip. The more Iraq stabilizes its economy, the less citizens will need to depend on holding US dollars as a safe option. When trust shifts back to the local currency, it means the population itself is supporting the dinar, and when citizens themselves are confident, that's when the real change begins. The government knows this. The central bank knows this. And that's why reforms are being accelerated to restore full power to the dinar and eventually reduce dependence on the dollar altogether. Gold markets in Iraq have also stabilized. This is critical because gold has always been a backup for currencies. When you see local gold prices stable while international markets are volatile, it tells you that the Iraqi market is quietly gaining strength. It means the central bank is doing its job by balancing reserves and making sure the dinar doesn't lose its purchasing power at home. This is a major achievement, and it signals that Iraq is no longer in the chaos of past decades. Instead, it is walking forward with stability, something investors have been waiting for. This is exactly why whispers are growing louder. Iraqi dinar. It is time. Now let's talk about something powerful: the Bank of International Settlements, known as BIS. Some call it the mother of all banks. It is one of the most trusted global institutions, and when Iraq gets recognition or support from BIS, the world listens. Recent developments show that Iraq's central bank has been engaging with BIS, signaling deeper integration into the global financial network. What does this mean for you and me? It means the world's highest financial authority is preparing to recognize Iraq as a stable partner. Once that stamp of approval is there, the dinar cannot remain undervalued for long. The U.S. Congress has also taken steps that directly affect Iraq's reputation. By revoking the old war authorization, Congress has signaled that Iraq is no longer an enemy state but a sovereign partner. This kind of recognition matters more than people realize. It opens the door for Iraq to be fully integrated into the global stage, not just politically but economically. Without these steps, Iraq would always be seen through the lens of its troubled past. But now, as old restrictions are being lifted, the path forward becomes clearer. Iraq is ready to rejoin the world fully, and when that happens, the value of its currency cannot stay hidden in the shadows. Digital transformation is another reason behind the phrase. It is time. Iraq has already launched its own digital dinar. This is not speculation, it is reality. By moving into digital banking, Iraq is signaling to the world that it is not stuck in old systems. It is embracing the future. Many countries are shifting to digital currencies, and Iraq does not want to be left behind. This leap forward creates opportunities for transparency, for security, and for easier international trade. Digital dinar means the country is prepared for ISO 2022 standards, blockchain systems, and global interoperability. These are not small moves. They are revolutionary for a country once cut off from the world. Think of the timing. Many analysts are pointing to the end of this month or by the end of this year as decisive moments. Some say September, others say January, but the important point is this: the timeline is shrinking. For years, people have asked when. But now, for the first time, people are saying soon. There is a difference between guessing and seeing the signs. Today, the signs are everywhere: projects signed, reforms announced, digital systems launched, international recognition growing. These are not theories, they are hard facts. What about the people inside Iraq? Reports show that citizens still don't have full purchasing power. The official exchange rate hovers, but behind the scenes, small increases in the dinar's value are noticeable. The government is gradually preparing the people, ensuring they trust the currency before any major move happens. It's like slowly tightening a rope until it holds strong. Once confidence is fully restored, the revaluation can no longer be delayed. And when that day arrives, ordinary Iraqis will finally see their money reflect the true value of their nation's wealth. One thing we must be cautious about is misinformation. Some groups are spreading stories about needing to load into special systems or private 800 numbers. These are often traps to steal money. The truth is, the banking system is already aligned, already audited, already prepared. Major firms like PricewaterhouseCoopers have ensured systems are ready for the future. So don't be misled by fake promises. The real change will happen openly, through the official system, and it will not require secret steps. Trust the reforms you can see, not the rumors you can't. So where does all this lead? To one conclusion: Iraq is no longer waiting. Its leaders are racing against time to finish reforms, to integrate banking, to secure sovereignty, and to build trust. When multiple officials use the word urgent, you know this is not an endless process. It has a finish line, and that finish line looks closer than ever. That is why communities, investors, and analysts are saying the same phrase: Iraqi dinar. It is time. If you step back and look at the bigger picture, it all makes sense. Iraq has oil, Iraq has gold, Iraq has security. Iraq has international recognition, Iraq has digital banking. Iraq has a central bank working with global institutions. Piece by piece, the puzzle is complete. The only part left is the public recognition of the true value of its currency. And history shows us that once a nation is ready, once its foundations are in place, the currency cannot stay undervalued for long. This is more than just money. It is about Iraq's sovereignty, about its independence, about its future role in the global economy. For years, Iraq was dependent on outside forces, struggling under sanctions and conflict. But now the tables have turned. Iraq is becoming a partner, not a problem. And partners are rewarded with strength, respect, and fair value in their currency. This is why so many believe the revaluation is not just possible, it is inevitable. So where does all this lead? To one conclusion: Iraq is no longer waiting. Its leaders are racing against time to finish reforms, to integrate banking, to secure sovereignty, and to build trust. When multiple officials use the word urgent, you know this is not an endless process. It has a finish line. And that finish line looks closer than ever. That is why communities, investors, and analysts are saying the same phrase: Iraqi dinar. It is time. If you step back and look at the bigger picture, it all makes sense. Iraq has oil, Iraq has gold, Iraq has security, Iraq has international recognition, Iraq has digital banking, Iraq has a central bank working with global institutions. Piece by piece, the puzzle is complete. The only part left is the public recognition of the true value of its currency. And history shows us that once a nation is ready, once its foundations are in place, that the currency cannot stay undervalued for long. So when you hear the phrase, Iraqi dinar, it is time, remember this: it is not just wishful thinking, it is the result of years of reform, years of rebuilding, years of connecting with the global financial system. It is the result of Iraq proving to the world that it is stable, secure, and ready. And while we may not know the exact hour or day, the evidence is undeniable. The Iraqi dinar has reached its moment. The world is watching. And for many, the conclusion is clear: yes, it is time.